Hi guys, in this video I am going to be doing a walkthrough and flip through of this reading comprehension program by the Critical Thinking Company, Reading Detective. My eldest used the entire program. She's in 9th grade and she just finished with the RX, and I'm currently using the A1 with my 4th and my 6th grader. Alright, now I do like this reading comprehension program. It's supposed to help them build up their reading comprehension and analyzing of, different texts, their skills in those areas, by teaching them different things like how to make inferences, how to identify the main topic and supporting points in a paragraph, how to understand vocabulary in context, story parts, make predictions, and also cite evidence for whether they're making an inference or predictions, cause and effect, theme, and different things like that. Now, yes, they can learn some of that in a reading curriculum, well, a little bit in a reading curriculum, but a writing program, they can also learn some of that. But I do like how it's all focused, on just those skills in this book. And based on the child, that can be beneficial. Sometimes if it is, like the child is not very spatial, then, being able to make those connections can get lost in, as it's, sprinkled in with bigger topics. But being able to zone in on just that specific skill area can be beneficial depending on the child. And I'm talking from experience with my 2 younger girls, right? All right, so we do like this program, and it is something that we actually use. So it has been, I think that, it has been helping. Now, can I say specifically that it is just this program, or is there a writing program or their reading program? I can't say that, but I can say that being part of, the group of stuff that we have been using, and the fact that I have been seeing them, being able to analyze different stories, or being able to give feedback better, I do believe that this has played a part, and hopefully that makes sense. All right, okay, so the first book kind of introduces them to those skills. I'm going to give it over like a summary first. So the first book introduces them to those skills, and then they practice those skills by going through simple fiction and non-fiction stories. They continue to, the skills get a little bit more advanced, and they continue to work through those skills in the A1 and B1. But in addition to non-fiction and fictional stories, they also work through biographies and say informational texts. Right? Now, the last book is similar to the first book in that it does teach them those different skill areas, probably in a little bit more summarized and advanced version than the first book, and that's because it can be used as like a fill gap. Right now, of course, if you decide to use the whole program, you could just use this and they will just be reviewing everything that they did. But if it is they did not do a dedicated reading comprehension curriculum and they are in the higher grades, and I say higher grades because the text is more advanced and it is recommended for 6th to 12th graders anyway, then they can use this to help them fill in those gaps. So maybe they never covered how to make good inferences or predictions, then they can use this to kind of brush up on those different areas. And there is something in this book that I really like, that if it is they are having problems with identifying like the main idea and supporting details in a paragraph, in specific paragraphs, they have this little chart here that they can use to kind of break it down. And charts like this, I am seeing and realizing that it works really well with my 2 younger girls. I just wanted to point that out. All right, so anyway, so that's a basic overview of all 4 books. Also, the first and last books that teaches the actual skill areas have a section called mixed skills, and in those sections what it does is that it gives them stories that includes, they're working through all of the different skills that they learn throughout the book within those stories. All right, so as they work their way through the program, they continue to build upon the skills that they learned in the first book and the stories just get more complex as they work their way through. All right. Now it does have support for you as well as, you know, as the parent slash teacher, and it does state that they might get more out of it, or they will get more out of it if you're able to do it with them. And at least what has worked for us, well, not with the last book, I allowed my 9th grader to do this on her own, but for the first 3 books, I sat down, and even the teacher overview, we went through it together. And the pre-test, there's a pre-test and post-test so that you can kind of see where they're at before they start the book, and then compare that to the post-test at the end. So we will do the pre-test together, and then a couple of the first, you know, the first few exercises, sorry. All right, and once they get an idea of what is expected of them, I would allow them to continue on their own. Now, ever so often, and not that often, I would go in and make some corrections, so that, say for example, when they are drawing conclusions, their answers is different from what is given. We can discuss, and they can state why it is they chose what they chose, because it does state, like when they're making inferences and drawing conclusions, if they can cite, you know, using the numbers and letters that it has here for them to use for them to cite, if they could explain their answers, it does state that, you know, you might want to accept their, you know, the answers that they give. So it has those things there for you to help you as a teacher. There is also an answer key at the back with the suggested citations that they have, evidence citations, and there's also glossary of terms in each book. All right, so now I am going to do a flip through. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you in another video. Bye.